Good afternoon, Riverland Baptist Church. I promised you that I would share with you some family impact moments. And so today, being our first recording, I want to go to what I feel is one of the most important things a husband and wife can do. This very thing that I want to share with you and talk with you about today is something that anytime a couple comes for counseling, I ask them, have they been practicing anything like this? And the answer in almost every case is emphatically a no. And so I want to help you today by having you, and if I could make you do this, I would make you and your mate stop today and plan your first one. And I want to talk to you about having a date night or a date afternoon on a weekly basis. It is vital for a husband and wife to reconnect with one another. We have life, you have children, you have bills, you have jobs, and things that just pull us away from each other, bogs us down, making decisions, stressed out over this, stressed out over that. And if that continues nonstop, what tends to happen is you drift apart from one another. And so I want to encourage you to make preparations today on having a weekly date with your husband and wife. Now, a date does not necessarily have to be an expensive restaurant. It doesn't have to be something elaborate. It is a time where the two of you drop everything else. You put the kids to bed. If you have no babysitters, you put them up in their rooms. Sometimes they'll say, well, our kids won't, we put them up, but they won't go to bed like they're supposed to. Well, that's a parenting issue, and we'll talk about that just a little bit later. But it's this time where if you can get a babysitter, you go out. If you're an empty nester like my wife and I are now, you don't have to worry about that. But you call a grandparent if they're local and say, can we drop them off for 2 or 3 hours? And so, but you and your wife and your husband, you go out. If you can afford it, go to a restaurant, go do something fun, focus on one another, talk with one another, and just stop life and be able to reconnect. It's very important, and you will find that. And it's important that you shut the business down if you can, and you turn all of that off, and just and be able to have conversation, talk about the day, talk about the weeks. And maybe you're at odds with one another right now, and it's not a great relationship. Maybe those first set of dates is going to be reassessing life, setting some new goals, talking about how to overcome some things. But it's so important that you have this. And the thing about it is, what is the definition of insanity? Insanity is if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you've always got. Try something new. This is a biblical concept. You will find in the book of Song of Solomon that they focused on one another. You will find that Isaac and his bride were focusing on one another. The Bible talks about this in how you connect together in Ephesians chapter 5. And so I want to encourage you to practice. You say, preacher, all we have is $5 in our pocket. Okay, then go get a couple hot dogs and sit by the lake. It doesn't take a lot of money, but do something with each other and plan it. My wife and I, in 30 years of marriage, we have emphatically protected this time. And for 30 years, almost every week of our life, we have had some form of a date night. And I want to encourage you to start that and start it today. God bless you, and I hope this impact moment will help your marriage.